We will be starting with the back piece of her hair, and the stitch on her hair is just an outline stitch, 2 strands of dark brown, and we're just going to applique this piece here. Putting her hair together along with her face was interesting. You'll see what I mean. I'll just I'll show you step by step how to put it together. But yeah, I felt like the pieces that stacked on top of each other to make her face was very somebody used their imagination to do it, because it was a little complicated to try and figure out, even with all the stamps numbered and instructions. So having a visual is going to help quite a bit. So I'm just going to applique this piece onto here, and I'm using 1 strand of, it's like a light tan color. This is the closest color that actually matched this color felt. I feel like it doesn't quite match, but it's the closest one that came with the kit, and I try really hard to only use the thread that comes with the kit. So okay, so now that we have that, this is stuffed. Yeah, so I just thought this was interesting. It's a little tiny piece. So we're gonna stuff it real fast with some stuffing using my chopstick, because that's easiest for me. I don't exactly have tiny hands, so using a tool like a chopstick is very helpful in this kind of situation. And it's really easy to overstuff on these tiny, tiny little pieces, so make sure you don't do that. So I think I've got enough in there, so it should close up just fine. If you're having trouble closing pieces after stuffing them, then take some stuffing out. So this is what her bodice looks like in the pieces. So her arms are stuffed on both sides, and I kind of like the way that this stamped out and the way it's stacked. Okay, so here's both the arms finished. They're just appliqued and stuffed very, very lightly. I want them to look like, I want them to look athletic and slim. Here are her gloves, and the pearls are going to go at the end of each glove. And then her hands are going to go in there too. And I'll kind of show you what I mean. Okay, so you applique all the way around except for the end of the glove, and then you attach it. So where the line is, that's where the glove ends. So you think that they would make the entire hand, but doing it this way actually makes it a lot easier. At first I thought the arms were going to be way too long, but they're pretty proportioned, so it works out. Just grab a pen and make sure that the glove is stuffed, and that you mark where the line is with your pen. Okay, so now that I have the front stuff, so her bodice does get stuffed on, so you're appliquing the entire bodice except for her arms, and you stuff it. So there is no backing, which I thought was interesting. So there's no backing. The backing is the front of the stocking, and you are stuffing it. I wish I would have filmed it. I forgot to film it. I got busy. Anyway, so I'm going to show you the necklace portion of it. It's very similar for beads when you're stringing them along. I don't know if you're familiar with, or I don't know who's familiar with stringing beads, but here's a quick way of doing it. You just got to make sure that you go back down to secure it. And I used 2 strands of white, and I'm gonna go around. Whoops. And I'm gonna go around, and so I did three beads at a time, because that's what it says. So I'm gonna show you better. Okay, so that's nice and tight, and you come back up and you go through the beads again. I didn't really show that very well. I'm sorry about that. I might do a separate tutorial on it. But here is the red part of the bodice, and it is stuffed. And there's only pearls on it, and then we're just gonna applique it closed. I love getting messages from you. I keep getting wonderful comments of video ideas, so keep them coming. I love hearing from you. And this part of the dress there's a dark red crimson part that has nothing on it, that's just appliqued, and then the white part is just like the part on the bottom. So it's very similar with the beads. Okay, here's the face. It was a little complicated to put together, but I wanted to do the face off camera because the face makes or breaks like the character of the stocking, I feel like. So I like to take my time and make sure that the face is very delicate and intricate, and I go really slow. So one of these days I will end up making just a facial tutorial because it's so I get nervous doing faces. Faces are very very difficult to do right. You want them to look realistic, and it's hard, and it's really easy to mess up. So I'm just showing you how to put the head on. So this part of the hair was probably the most difficult part, but I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 felt pieces that go into this face. So it's fairly layered, lots of layers. Make sure that you pay attention to the instructions. I was so focused on trying to get the face down that I wasn't able to film all of the construction part of it, so I do apologize about that. But this is where the face is gonna go, and I'm using the picture as a reference guide so that I get her angle right, because I want to make sure that her chin is facing the right direction. And in the instructions it does say to only applique like a small section of it, and make sure you don't applique her chin. The chin needs to be free so it looks like her chin's coming out. Gives it nice 3D effect. And then there's a matching like little holly leaf with a bead right there, and I just tacked it onto there so that matches her hair. And I used a couple of pins to tack down her arms because they're technically free. You don't sew those down. So the snowflakes that you add later on, they're simple back stitch. If you don't know how to do a back stitch, I'll link the video that I made in the cards above, and then I just added the rest of the snowflakes that I had, and I just did a little embellishment here. The original tag is just plain green, but I decided to add a strip of blue and a snowflake on top just to give it some character. And this is the finished stocking front. So here's what the back looks like. That it's not lined yet. So here's what it looks like lined. So big difference, right? Luckily, it doesn't really matter what color you're using for the lining unless you really want a specific color. I like to use white because it's just versatile and I have tons of it. So there's the lining, and then the same rule applies for putting the backing on. I'm just showing you the front of what it looks like. So after I line it, then I put the backing on, and then I flip the tag over. Here's the backing. I flip the tag over like this, and I attach it like so. Okay. So that's what the back looks like. I didn't bother ironing it because I didn't feel like it needed ironing. I know some people are a little bit picky about whether they want their felt ironed or not. I'm honestly not that picky. I mean, it's just one thing that I really don't mind. I don't mind a wrinkly felt. Okay, there is our finished stocking. I hope you loved this tutorial. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to see more awesome videos. I've got tons of tutorials coming out. So I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.